All right, we're talking Celtics with John Karalis, another Rhode Islander and fellow Greek. Thanks so much for joining us, John. All right, the Celtics, 4 in a row, 6 of 7. For those that didn't stay up late last night for that win, how did they pull it off, and what impressed you most about the performance?
Well, they pulled it off because Jason Tatum had a superstar second half, where I think he scored 24 points of his 32 in the second half and hit the game winner with just a few seconds to go, a sidestep three-pointer. Jason Tatum is playing great, and one of the reasons why the Celtics are on such a roll is they're all attacking the basket a lot more often. They're taking better shots. Their shot profile is certainly much more today's modern NBA. Layups, more free throws. Jason Tatum took 10 in this game. The three-pointers they're getting are generated off of those, which means they're more open, and that's exactly what you want in today's NBA. And then the defensive energy has been really great. Marcus Smart was huge, leading the charge there, but we're really seeing a different defensive team on top of the more efficient offensive team during this stretch.
So it's been an up and down season, but what kicked this team in the rear end? Was it actually the Kendrick Perkins tweet that called out Jason Tatum? Are you a believer in that, or do you think it's just coming together at the right time?
I love Big Perk, but it's probably has very little to do with all of this. There are a lot of factors here. I mean, first of all, the schedule has thinned out a little bit. They haven't played a back-to-back in a few weeks, and so that helps. They've been at home for a couple of weeks before this road trip, so things got to settle down. They got to rest and sleep in their own beds. They're healthier. Jason Tatum's still not 100% after his COVID diagnosis, but he says he's very close, and so the team is more whole. They're more focused, and I think the trade that got Daniel Tice out of Boston did help in that it took the double big lineups that Brad Stevens was running and it took those away from him. So now with one big on the floor, either Robert Williams or Tristan Thompson, the Celtics are able to run four wings that just creates more space. They're running more of a cutting, backdoor, flowing motion offense that has really, really helped. And Marcus Smart being healthy is a big deal too.
Yeah, I know you wrote about that on Boston Sports Journal, Marcus Smart's impact last night. All right, I want to ask you about seeding. We know the 4 seed and the 8 seed is pretty much separated by 2 games right now. How important is it for the Celtics to be on the high end of that seeding and avoid a Brooklyn or Philly early in the playoffs?
Well, first thing they want to do is get out of that 7th or 8th seed, which they are currently, but, like you said, that changes real quick because you don't want to be in the play-in tournament. That's an extra couple of games you just do not want to deal with because anything can happen in those 2 games. Even if you win the first one, you don't want somebody spraining an ankle. Then you want to get home court advantage. You want to get into that 4 or 5 game if you can. Who knows how many fans are going to let in by the time the playoffs start in the month or so with all the vaccinations, and I don't know what the state's going to do, but you could have more fans, could be a better advantage, and your first round opponent's going to be a Miami or Charlotte or one of those teams. So now you can advance to the second round. And if you get a favorable matchup, I still like the matchup against Philly, even though their recent game didn't go quite as well as they'd hoped. But I still think that if you get Philly in the second round, that allows at least a slight chance of getting to the conference finals again against all odds, the way this season has gone.
All right, next up for the Celtics against the Lakers to wrap up this West Coast swing. What do you see in this matchup tomorrow night?
Well, they're lucky that they don't have LeBron or Anthony Davis in this. So the Celtics will be able to take advantage of, I think, their center spot, Robert Williams against either Andre Drummond or Montrezl Harrell, or however they want to run those centers. I think will give the Celtics an advantage. And when you have Robert Williams rolling to the rim hard the way he has been when he's at his best, that just creates these lanes for Tatum and Brown to keep on going. So an advantageous situation for the Celtics to get the Lakers without their stars. I think if they just keep attacking and keep putting that pressure on the Lakers defensively, they can force some turnovers and get out running and really start to build a lead early in the game.
All right, he's John Kourakis, covers the Celtics for the Boston Sports Journal. John, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk again soon.
My pleasure.